Well, we've left the best till last, or the most important till last. We did say yesterday that we have 4 programmatic pillars for the foundation and for the Athens Democracy Forum: technology, migration, business, and of course, climate. So we need to hook on the 2 missions, that the 2 outcomes that the foundation has, citizen engagement and better governance, make that work and help the planet and help climate.
The best thing to do is to move along, and I will now call upon Maria Logotheti to come up and start the presentation. Thank you, Maria.
We organized first a research committee, a research team, mapping the stakeholders and collecting information, publicly available information about their initiatives. According to the plans that the national plans that 191 countries have submitted, we are not going to reach the goals. The young people are very worried. 2 out of 3 are terrified about their future. And more than 60% believe that their everyday life will be affected. COVID and the climate change both have shown us that we need to change. Something needs to be done differently. We have, apparently everybody agrees, and the Green Deal and the European Union in the context of the Green Deal tells us that we have to change our socioeconomic model. We add to that by saying that what is needed is to build the gaps. And one basic gap is knowledge. Knowledge, data, everything is fragmented. The problem is that we don't communicate. We can't find the information collected in a one-stop shop, let's say. So we started with this idea that will connect citizens, municipal, regional authorities, central government, private sector, academia, civil society. Our aim is to create and establish a cross-sectoral community of practice. Knowledge development, so we will collect information in one-stop shop, as I said before, tangible ways so people can understand and will know where to find the information. Networking comes without saying. Members of our team, of our platform, can be connected, can exchange best practices, organize discussions and workshops, etc. Capacity building. Municipal government has sometimes the means, but not the capacity. So we have a partner that is an expert on this, and we intend to assist in creating, in developing transformative projects. But it all comes to education at the end of the day. Education, engagement, and green jobs. We want young people to be able, first of all, to be better informed, but also to better know what's happening in this new era of green jobs. As I said, during this pilot operation, we came up with 3 basic findings: an uneven capacity among stakeholders. Fragmentation of responsibilities is a major obstacle to organize better the work and be efficient. And of course, always education and training at different levels is an issue that came up in all our findings. So everybody wants to be connected. That's a common finding, and we intend to elevate this knowledge as a key factor in our hub. Something that I did not refer to, which is a conclusion that comes out from all the things that I've said up to now, is the democratization of data. And this is the main objective of the hub. This is what we're going to do. Catalyze bottom-up information, accelerate the design and delivery of transformative resilience plans, and foster connected community, national community of practice. I hope we will have feedback from you and we will stay connected. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite With this in mind, to the floor, the President of the Central Union of Municipalities of Greece, Mr. Dimitris Papastergiou, and Mrs. Helena Monteiro, representative of the UNDRR program and the MCR 2030 Making Cities Resilience campaign.
First of all, I do believe that we have to tackle the climate crisis in our cities, in our houses, in the daily way of living, in our neighborhoods, because it's not easy, especially for the Greek municipalities, to go very fast to a neutral model. But we have to start from the houses, from the public buildings. Let's spread that to neighborhoods and then to cities. That's why I really believe that the European initiative of 100 climate neutral cities will be a great challenge for us. It's a real bet, let's say, for all the Greek municipalities, for the 5 Greek municipalities that are starting participating. The cities and municipalities is just the beginning. We have to have a vision, but we have to take with us our citizens. And let's say the secret is to pass our vision to our citizens and to make them engaged citizens. This is, let's say, the way to go further and then speed up. Speed up with the penetration of electrification, speed up with the penetration of renewables. If we have the vision, now the means are here. And I'm talking about RRF, I'm talking about the new ESPA, new SRF, and of course the local Greek program of Adonis Tritsis. So, concluding, the role of municipalities is very, very important. We have to make this roadmap and follow it. Now the means are here, so let's make it happen.
Why the UNDRR is looking at the Climate Resilience and Recovery Program and the Climate Hub, and what is the connection that you see with the Global Making Cities Resilience campaign?
This is an initiative that builds on 10 years of advocacy from the Making Cities campaign from 2010 to 2020. And even though we reached more than 4,300 cities, we realized that we needed to do more. We needed to scale up. We need to bring resources. To solve the crisis that we're living today, we needed to bring resources to cities. So UNDR has partnered with different organizations, UN agencies like the WHO, the UN Habitat, different organizations like the C40, the Resilient Cities Network, the Resilient Cities Catalyst here today, to provide a straightforward 3-step roadmap for cities where in each of these stages, like understanding risks, the cities need to first understand their challenges in order to go to the next stage, which is to plan and put in place resilience strategies. And then the third stage, which is implementation and action. So when cities join Making Cities Resilient 2030, they have access to all of the tools and resources that these partners are offering. We see the Climate Hub as a really opportunity to scale up, to bottom up the work with cities. But also we see the hub as an opportunity to scale up and pilot some of these tools that we are bringing. And use it as a case in overall the region and also globally.
You are bringing in an entirely different approach. You've seen a lot of things. You're working at the same time at the macro level and the micro level. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you offer from your position and from your experience?
I think that the most challenging thing that we see in our work is usually cities, governments, they work in silos. So the transport department is thinking of their budget, and then the environmental is thinking of their budget. And this is for me is the most challenging thing. So working, creating this collaboration and having this type of conversation.
How transform, let's say, a smart city to a real smart, safe, resilient city.
We're very honored today to have with us Marja Ruotanen, who is the Director of Human Dignity and Equality at the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Paul Nelson, one of the founding principles of the Resilient Cities Catalyst, Jason Rhys Parry, a research and fellow from the Sapienship. How and why dealing with the climate crisis effectively is also a way in which you strengthen democracy and human rights.
We have the Paris agreements with very clear indicators what has to be the targets. But when you look at any indicators today, they are getting worse. So something is really seriously wrong. And I think a second, in point of view of the democracy, why we really need to act is that the young people, I'm sure in all of the European countries, they have realized that something is wrong. And in one of the surveys, and I think when you presented this project also, it is clear that for young people in Europe in general, the most serious concern for them is environment. When I was young, that certainly was nowhere in my top list what I was worried about for my future. And I'm especially working now with the Parliamentary Assembly. That means that all the member states have their parliamentarians coming to Council of Europe. They adopted a series of reports, including a report where they are making very far-reaching proposals, namely making policies into principles. Now the democracy comes in. Where we connect very nicely, I think, with this hub is that we need holistic and transversal policies. And I think this is the only way forward, and I see huge potentials for us working together with the Council of Europe, because we are creating also a network of green parliamentarians, those who are really wanting to push forward on these very progressive policies.
I'm going to sort of flip the problem into the opportunity that we see in the Climate Hub, because we've seen over and over again through our work around the world the power of building these cross-sectoral networks, these communities of diverse practitioners to tackle these systems-level problems that we've all been discussing, not just in this session, but across the forum. We need to keep users of the platform top of mind as we design this, right? We've all been part of online communities. Everyone in this room has been. And some of them are vibrant, and some of them are moribund at best. And so as we build this out, if we're going to realize on the vision that we've laid out here in the program, we need to be designing with our users, with residents, to ensure that we're creating a space where they feel like they can contribute and they have co-ownership. That's why we're so excited to be partnering with a cohort of municipalities as part of this initiative to really lead the design and delivery of transformational projects at the municipal level where local residents can really see impact and give input.
What I've noticed is that it's impossible to talk about these issues in isolation. And so I think this is something that especially the people in the private sector need to keep in mind as they go about formulating solutions, that these issues, they overlap and they complicate each other. As people go about trying to use technologies to kind of increase efficiency at the urban level, they have to somehow reconcile the ecological costs of ubiquitous computing with those potential gains. And so you can see how just keeping track of all these variables is maybe enough to just strain the limits of human ingenuity, let alone developing any meaningful solutions. But I think this is where cities really shine, because for thousands of years, cities have been the kind of incubator for humanity's collective brain. And now the cities of the world are being linked together. I learned this Greek word the other day, ecumenopolis, it's the world city. So I'm really actually excited to see what the ecumenopolis makes it possible for us to think. And that may be, where we find some answers to these pressing problems.